Paul Marsh here on Express, and I am delighted to say that I am joined by comedian legend Simon Brodkin. Simon, sir, how are you?
I'm great. I'm great. I'm excited. Few hours to go till I'm getting on stage in Portsmouth. So I'm excited. What can I say?
Yeah. So playing tonight at the Portsmouth Guild Hall, there are literally just a handful of tickets left for anybody that wants to go and get them. However, if you do miss out and you can't make it tonight for whatever, literally just over the water, on Friday the 6th of October, you're playing on the Isle of Wight in Shanklin.
Yes, and such was my ignorance. I said the Isle of Man to you, and it wasn't just before we kicked off the interview. I'm like, don't forget Isle of Man, and you were like, mate, do you know that's nowhere near us? And I had to blag. Of course I do.
Yes.
No, because I'm on this huge tour, and it is a joy to be going up and down the UK. And I always love coming to Portsmouth, and there's a lovely, lovely bunch of people. I know maybe there's less options in Portsmouth, and maybe they're just happier to see people who have just travelled down there. But I also know I've got big competition coming with the Pantos, big Panto season coming up. So it's although that's going on for a lot of weeks, I'm there for one night only. So
There, to be
bring it
fair,
on.
there's actually loads of options here in Portsmouth. We're so lucky and so blessed. We've got so much going on. But the one thing, our tagline here at Express is passionately Portsmouth, and the reason for that is
Love
the
it.
people of Portsmouth are so passionate. We're passionate about everything we do. So when a comedian or a band or whoever it is comes to town, we all come out and support.
Yeah, there is. I've seen your football team supporters, and they can maybe sometimes take passion a little further than I'm hoping the people who come along to my. I hope everyone is in the home end at my in the theatre night at the Guildhall. But yeah, it is. It's a lovely atmosphere. Everyone's pompey proud. Although, like all places, a little bit of banter about the state of the town, and people do enjoy it as well. Everyone's got a good sense of humour. That's I think that's what makes the tour so fun. Everyone's up for a little gentle ribbon, including me taking the mick out of me as well, as I do in this show. Because unlike other shows I've done, obviously people know me for the pranks I've done. You know, the money over Sepp Blatter and giving Theresa May the P45, and obviously the characters Lee Nelson and Jason Bent. Well, this tour's called Screwed Up, and that's precisely because it's about me and finding out I am perhaps a little screwed up, and it's out of character, and it's stand up, and it's really funny, and it sort of feels really cool to be able to have that extra little bit of that sort of bond with the audience when people open up. I think there's a special a little more of a bond when you have,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's why this tour's felt really, really cool. And there's added these are extra dates that I've added, going all over the UK, going doing a gig at the Apollo, which is pretty cool for me because last time I was there I was as Lee, and I haven't performed there as myself, and going over Europe. But Pompey's the big one.
If I could give you one piece of advice for tonight, is don't wear any red clothing.
No red clothing, and I assume that includes pants and socks, just in case they do a thorough inspection.
I don't think it's quite that bad here, especially maybe the people coming into the auditorium, maybe, but I think you'll probably be okay.
Nice. Any Isle of Wight tips as well for me?
Just count the toes, I guess.
Okay, the banter started right
There
away.
we
You should
go.
hear what they say about you.
um, you mentioned Lee Nelson earlier. Now, I want to have a completely honest moment with you. When Lee Nelson first came out, I wasn't a big fan at all. I did not like Lee Nelson until I saw Lee Nelson do a whole stand-up show. I can't remember why, but I ended up seeing Lee Nelson do a complete stand-up show, and I have to say it was absolutely superb. And I had tears rolling down my face. It was so funny. So to then, like you say, you play Lee Nelson, and on TikTok you play the part of a posh husband. Is it really, really important? And Jason Benton, obviously, is it really important to you to take the Mickey out of everybody?
Yes, I think is the simple answer. I think that look, whether I'm doing the characters, and obviously Lee Nelson's well good show probably divided people. It was cheeky, it was naughty, it was look, it was 10:30 on BBC Three, and their remit at the time was be a bit naughty, mate. So I definitely took that and ran with that. But then I think whatever I'm doing, there's a cheeky sense of humor that's coming through, and I think that's whether the characters I'm doing or as me on stage. And I guess I don't know, maybe slightly, I don't know, out of fashion, whether that's the right thing to say, but I've always enjoyed as well just the jokes, the actual big jokes that are funny to tell your mates and repeat and funny to see on paper. Obviously there's a lot in performance as well, but my main aim always is to leave people properly chuckling, like and I don't mind what that is, whatever I'm doing, but that was really important to me as doing it as myself, that because it's easy to start getting a bit bogged down with, I'm going to talk about this and I'm going to talk about that, and this means a lot to me. Look, the audience to come along, they're paying 20 quid to laugh, and that is my main objective, regardless of what I'm doing.
Well, the one clip that's doing the rounds on the socials right now is you doing a eulogy at your mate's funeral, which is just superb, because I have this conversation with my wife all the time. I'll go out for an evening with my mates, and she'll come back and she'll say, "Oh, how's so and so's wife, and how's so and so's wife?" And I'm like, "I have no idea." Okay, well, how's his new job going? Don't know.
No, it's a bit tragic. Like, I think it came out of reflecting on me and my friends and going, I just don't know anything about them, and it's sort of, it is fun and it is funny, and I guess no one does banter you like a group of blokes. I imagine, I don't know whether that's a sexist thing to say, but that feels like that's the atmosphere, the energy with a lot of male friendships, which is fun and funny. But it also has a weird flip side, that then no one feels like they can actually open up. And that leads on to the sort of more serious point of going, oh my God, like, no wonder there's a lot of, worried men, because where do you vent if your group of mates is just always about taking the mick, and then no one's suddenly going to put their hand up and go, guys, can I just say I'm really struggling at work at the moment? You'll be like, shut up, mate. So it's fun, but then that led me to thinking, oh my word, imagine I'm worried that a close friend of mine were to die and I'm asked to speak about the funeral. I'll know so little about him, I'll have nothing to say. And then, other than just as you hear in the clip that's doing the rounds, other than a load of would you rathers,
which we absolutely cannot talk about on air right now.
We will not do that. I'm not getting you cancelled, mate. You'll have to come to the Guildhall to hear for naughtier words. It is a family show, but 14 plus, and it's not on radio, so we get to be a little more blue.
Yeah, exactly. Now, obviously, like you say, Lee Nelson blew up huge, and your pranks and all the other things that you did blew up huge. But now, TikTok and Instagram, you must be thanking the lucky stars that they were invented, because you are absolutely huge on there.
Yeah, it feels, what I love about it is direct connection with people. It's like a more democratic, more of a meritocracy. If people like you, they can follow you. If they don't like you, they don't need to follow you. Whereas on television, there's a lot of meetings, there's a lot of people in various smart clothing sat around tables looking at spreadsheets, working out demographics, and often that can get in the way of just being able to express yourself and be funny and create and get it out there. And that's the joy. And I think it does feel great to be absolutely flying on TikTok. I think the most watched British stand-up comedian, and one clip's got over 40 million, a bit of stand-up, and the numbers are huge. Numbers of followers. It's really cool, man. It's been also really nice for me during lockdown. I started these channels up, and it was like, okay, people seem to want this, and it's giving me something to do, and frankly, giving my kids something to do in quite a lot of the sketches as well. So it kept the whole family happy. So thanks everyone for following me. It's at Simon Brodkin, by the way, if anyone wants to follow me on any of the social media. And it's simonbrodkin.com. A lot of people don't know my name. This is the show mentions this, because obviously I'm known for all these different things. People come up to me in the street and go, "You're hilarious. Can I get a selfie with you?" And what's your name again? So yeah, simonbrodkin.com. We get tickets for Portsmouth, Isle of Wight, not Isle of Man, and see you tonight or in a few weeks' time.
To be fair, you're in a better situation with me because it's usually me asking other people if they want to have a selfie with me. And when they say no, it's generally quite embarrassing.
Just bring your radio mic along with you and your headphones.
Yeah.
People might then realise where you're from.
Literally walk around with one of these Express FM muffs all the time next to my face. Do you want a selfie? Do you want a selfie?
Love it. With those little postcards they used to get at the BBC for the different presenters, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Now we mentioned obviously your elaborate pranks. Are you always thinking of the next one, or have you been warned by the police that that's enough now, or by your wife?
I like how gently you describe, being arrested and having a criminal record. Have you been warned by the police? I think
maybe
there's more
that's enough now.
Formal ways of doing it than a warning. Yeah, listen. The pranks are during COVID. It made it harder because not being able to legally be allowed to be within 2 meters of anyone did make that difficult. Apart from Matt Hancock, who seemed to do what he liked in the office, but I won't mention more of that now. That's more for the show. Matt Hancock plays a bit of a starring role in me taking the mick out of British politicians. And so that obviously curbed things. To try and prank people, you're not allowed to get near them, did make it difficult unless you want to sort of do phishing on email scams. Like, yes, I've got the Prime Minister's credit card details.
I am the Prince of Africa.
Yeah, exactly. His cousins died in a plane crash. Send me your details. So that changed things. The stand-up's gone boom. The social media's gone boom, and now that is once you've driven to Portsmouth and back, it's hard to actually then start thinking of what stunt to do next. But there's always going to be another prank, another stunt in there. Having got Trump and enjoying the England football team. Actually, that was a fun one, which I should have been in that squad. I still maintain I would have added to the squad as Jason Bennett in that failed World Cup campaign. But yeah, there's other ideas ticking along, but the stand-up is sort of really, I'm absolutely loving doing that and performing that, and so that's taking up my passion at the moment.
Well, it's great to see it going so well for you. I'm going to leave you with one last question, specifically for tonight in Portsmouth. How do you deal with hecklers?
I think hecklers is something that the public imagine is going on all the time, all the show. When you come to a show, like 99%, everyone's there to really enjoy and listen. And I don't discourage heckler for a second, because the beauty of stand-up is it's there, it's live, it's part of where you are. It's kind of a unique art form in that way, that if you shout something out in a theatre, you get booted out, or the actors walk off, or you ignore. But if you shout something in a stand-up, I have to react. And I kind of...
A challenge, right?
It's great. It's fun. The standard of heckling often isn't great, because it's normally people who have had 7 cans of lager too many who are, yes, Simon, love you, right? So normally they just need escorting to the toilet or something and back. But yeah, heckling, it's fun. I think if funny heckle, bring it on. Happily listen to the audience. Often they're funnier than me, occasionally. So bring your A game heckling lines along to Portsmouth this evening.
Oh, I hope you don't regret that. I really hope you don't regret that. Simon,
the whole of the second half is going to be the audience, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. Audience participation. Simon, thank you so much for talking to me. I really, really do appreciate it. And just to repeat again, there are literally a handful of tickets left for tonight's show at the Portsmouth Guildhall. And if you can't make it tonight, then of course there is the show on the Isle of Wight at the Shanklin Theatre on Friday, the 6th of October.
Awesome. Great chatting. Can't wait to bring the show to Portsmouth.